The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. My name is David Bush, and for the next 30 minutes, I get the awesome opportunity to share the full offering of OPTAVIA. We call it our trilogy presentation, and what we're going to cover in the next 30 minutes is a detailed look at what OPTAVIA has to offer to help you to create more optimal health and well-being in your life. And if you just joined the presentation, buckle up, because we're going to share some pretty powerful transformation stories. We've got some unique transformation stories to share with you tonight. Each one of our transformation stories that we're going to share with you tonight comes with a background in playing football, high school football, college football, professional football in the NFL, or coaching football. And we use these niche-specific topics because everybody's story speaks a little differently to different individuals. And you might be in a position right now where you have a connection to football from a personal standpoint. You've either played or coached, or maybe you just enjoy the sport, or maybe you might be the loved one, the spouse, the mom, the grandmother of a football player, or maybe a son that played football, or have a child grandson that maybe has played, and maybe that individual is not doing as well as they'd like to do in life. They're not as healthy as they'd like to be. And we hope that tonight might be an inspiration for you, might be an opportunity to share this recording. If you're watching this as a recording, we're glad that you're here and watching it. And we'd love for you to share this story with others. And if you have an opportunity to inspire others, wouldn't that be the best thing that we could do, is to pass along a good story? My personal story with OPTAVIA started about 10 years ago, but I had a story that started way beyond that, that's got me going in the wrong direction with my health. I grew up in a family where we liked to eat for entertainment. It was about getting bigger, faster, and stronger. This picture here that you see on your screen is a picture of my grandfather. He played at the University of Southern California. That was the school that I wanted to go to because that was the one that my parents and family and everybody cheered for. It was the hometown team for us in Southern California. And because my grandfather played the sport, it was something that I desired to participate in myself. But what happened for me is that my life was considerably altered in terms of football, because I continued to become bigger and faster and stronger. But as life went through the processes of growing into different teams, I grew unhealthier in my habits. And after my career ended, after playing as a All-American offensive center at the University of South Dakota, and then playing a thing called arena football for 4 years, I suffered what a lot of talented experts call a career-ending lack of talent. And I had to move on with my life. Football was no longer. I got into coaching football, but nothing could really be compared to the same thing as playing football. And what happened for me is all of those bad habits that I had learned by becoming bigger and faster and stronger began to play against me. So at the age of 35, weighing 310 pounds and having 2 back injuries that were totally unrelated to my football, but because I was playing basketball and I was 310 pounds and I wasn't as healthy as I should have been, I ended up having the suffering of being in pain, being on Percocet, OxyContin, oxycodone, which so many athletes have become addicted to over the years. And I began to see my life kind of spiraling downwards. My 3 beautiful kids were not getting the attention or the activity that I desired. And I really wanted to change. And that's when I found OPTAVIA. 10 years ago, a good friend of mine who's also an athlete invited me and challenged me to get healthier with OPTAVIA. I didn't know if I could do it, but I tried it for 1 month. With the help of a coach and with the OPTAVIA system, I ended up losing 100 pounds. And that transformed the way that I thought about my health. Going through this educational program called The Habits of Health and working with a coach and really understanding what was available to me transformed not only my life, but it began to transform my kids and my family and my friends. And I decided to become an OPTAVIA coach because of this mission of OPTAVIA, which is to get America healthy and then the world. And what I saw out there in the world was a lot of unhealthy family members and friends. And Dr. Wayne Anderson, our founder, co-founder, and our author of the Habits of Health system, he left critical care medicine after becoming the 10th physician board certified in critical care. He left critical care medicine. He left his education. He was the valedictorian of his medical class. And what he saw is that the medical system wasn't serving the problem behind the problem. More and more people were becoming unhealthy, and as a critical care physician, he couldn't continue to manage the challenge of trying to keep up. He himself began to suffer his own consequences of unhealthy habits just because he was trying to save everybody else's life. So what he decided to do was to move upstream, to create a company that was built on creating health and well-being in people's lives, not just reacting to disease. He partnered with one of the most trusted companies in the country, and we've also been ranked as one of the top 100 most trusted companies in 2016 and 2017 by Forbes magazine. Because of Dr. Anderson's pioneering thought processes and because of the staunch financial status of our parent company, we actually have created one of the most dynamic business models in the country, and it's fast growing. The credibility of our company is unmatched. We have scientific research and clinical studies, and we have documented clinical studies that shows the medical efficacy of our program. But what Dr. Anderson was the most passionate about was this idea of creating a health coaching model. He himself, a football player, an athlete, and a star athlete in high school, he had a passion for helping people to come together in teams, coming together with individual coaches, because he knew the value of having a personal coach, what it could do for a person to awaken them, to guide them, to encourage them to overcome the barriers and to take the path of resistance that they may have fallen short on once before. And what he wanted to do is he didn't want to just help people to get healthy physically. He wanted them to get healthy physically, mentally, and financially, to climb the mountain of optimal health, to actually win the game of life, and to create lifelong transformation habits that could be sustained for not only just an individual's lifetime, but could be passed on from generation to generation. And that mission inspired me because I saw so many of my friends that were playing football that were suffering from this health epidemic. I saw their wives and their family members, their kids becoming more and more overweight and obese. Now we have 39.8% of adults in America are now considered to be obese. We also have 18.5% of our youth that are considered to be obese. This is a growing epidemic. We are not slowing down the obesity epidemic. And overweight and obesity is the #1 preventable disease in America. It's the mother and father of all disease. And we want to change that. Not just the weight physically, but the weight mentally and the weight financially that is burdening our family members and friends. So Dr. Anderson created this comprehensive system using this 4-component system. And I'm going to give you a quick little overview of what that system is. It might be a reminder for some of you that are currently using our program, but then we're going to talk specifically about how the coach opportunity works and how you can create healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances using the OPTAVIA system. In OPTAVIA, every client has a coach. Every coach has a coach. Every client and coach is on a team. You're a part of a system. You're part of a process. You're a part of an encouragement system that it empowers you with one-on-one support using a healthy lifestyle program. Dr. Anderson's Habits of Health system is a comprehensive system that actually helps you to adopt those healthy lifestyle habits. It's as simple as using an app and a website, or using an actual life book and the reference book of Habits of Health. All 4 of these components of the Habits of Health system are kind of like our playbook. For those of you that played football, you remember that the playbook was the guide. It was the thing that we all strive to adopt. We weren't always perfect in executing the plays, but what we were dedicated to winning. And that's what the Habits of Health is all about. It's a winner's game plan. It's a winner's strategy with tactics and ideas and resources to help you to win at the game of health, no matter where you are in your journey. And why it's so simple to start with a simple app and with a coach that's guiding you, nearly every person that has an opportunity to jump in this program can find success. The 3rd component of our program is our vast community, our vast team. We have over 27,000 active health coaches and have been growing in terms of getting healthier and expanding our mission. And we have access to this vibrant virtual community. We also have webinars like the webinar that you're on now, encouraging and inspiring individuals. We have a weekly Habits of Health webinar that educates individuals on a topic from our life book or from the Habits of Health system. And we have experts, just like medical teams or medical staff on a football team. We have our medical staff, which is our nutrition support team, registered dietitians and licensed nutritionists, to customize nutrition plans to meet the needs of each one of our individual clients. The fourth component of our program is the fueling system. Just like in football, we fuel our bodies before a game. OPTAVIA is designed to fuel our bodies for peak performance, optimal health and performance. Each individual client is a little bit individualized based on what their interests are, but most Americans will use a simple meal plan using the 6 meals a day plan, where we will actually provide them with done-for-you portable grab-and-go fuelings, and they'll combine those with a healthy, low-glycemic, lean and green meal each and every day. Fast, simple, convenient. Most of us, we had prepared meals before game day. We knew the importance of fueling ourselves for performance. But when we got done with football, we never really fueled our body for performance. We fueled it for entertainment. OPTAVIA is here to get people back into the game of life by giving them balanced protein, carbohydrate fuelings that are not complex, and they're not larger in portion size, but they're really healthy in terms of the nutrition that it takes into them. So as I want to introduce our first testimonial tonight, I want to introduce you to Pete Drury. Pete played high school football, was a multiple sport athlete, but I want you to hear a little bit more about his story and how he went from being athlete to football coach to health coach and now to inspirational leader inside of OPTAVIA. Pete, welcome to the webinar.
Hey, David, thank you so much for the opportunity to come and share tonight. It's amazing how technology can link us across this entire country, sitting here in the middle of Iowa, out on a farm, and literally talking to thousands of people and being able to share. I'm excited to be part of this panel. I can't wait to hear the stories that are to come. I know you guys are going to be inspired tonight, but I want to start with a quote tonight, actually a couple quotes, and both of these quotes have really helped me, not only on this journey, but in life. One of them is, you can't pour from an empty cup. I'm a school counselor, and I love helping people and working with kids and families. And what I had found was my cup started to run dry because I wasn't filling my cup. And that was something that really spoke to me. The other one is, it was shared with me by somebody I consider a mentor that I've known for years. He was discussing life with me one day, and he said, Pete, don't sacrifice the great upon the altar of the good. You see, before this journey, I was involved in lots of good things. Life was good, and I was enjoying life, but I was not filling my cup back up, and I was sacrificing the great things in this life for a lot of good things, and that caught up with me. Actually, 2 years ago today was my day one, and on my day one, I stepped in at over 300 pounds, and I was struggling with my energy. I was struggling with new aches and pains. We live out on a farm. At the time I had a 6-year-old boy that loved playing with dad, and I'd come home from work and it wasn't happening. It was a struggle, and I made a decision. I wanted something different. And thankfully somebody was willing to share the fact that they were a coach and partnering with others, and I was ready. And so I made a decision, stepped in and hit my goal weight, which was a weight that I had not seen since my senior year of high school. And so the coaching opportunity actually came about because as I was going on my journey, my parents noticed, and they started asking questions, and they had health challenges that they were up against. And so I thought, I'll step in as a coach to help my mom and dad. And what has taken place over the last year and a half has been phenomenal. I've been able to find a deeper level of passion. I love my school counseling position. I love the kids, but the health coaching has also been an added blessing to be able to coach others and help plug them into the system and work towards their health goals, help them to discover things that they once thought was not possible. Just like when I stepped in, I laughed at my health coach when we were talking about what my goal should be. And so over the year and a half, we've been able to do more things, more time freedom. We grew our family this last spring by adopting a newborn, and we have the blessing of my wife not needing to teach full time. And so all things that I had not even considered when I first stepped in. One of the things I really like about the OPTAVIA is our game plan. You know, David was talking about as a football player, as a coach, you always come into a game prepared with a game plan. And that was something that as an athlete, I always did. I loved going. Study hall was my favorite class in the fall because I took care of business in the classroom. So in study hall, I could go down and study film with a couple of the other guys, and we could kind of get an idea of what the coach's game plan was. As I grew up and became a coach myself, I was developing the game plan for each game. And as a coach, I would never step into a game not fully prepared and not having my team prepared. And yet for years and years, I was living life with not a very good game plan. I wasn't living out my best life in regards to my health, which was impacting everything else I was passionate about. And so with OPTAVIA, we have an excellent game plan, and it's simple. David just talked about the 4 components. You know, I think about, and this will date me, but one of my favorite video games back in the day was Tecmo, right? And Tecmo football had 4 plays. It wasn't all this like crazy game plan stuff. There were 4 plays. And even if the other team had Lawrence Taylor or Mike Singletary, if you used all 4 plays, you were going to score touchdowns and you were going to have success. And really, it's that simple. With OPTAVIA, with the support of a coach and the community, our healthy habits system, the nutrition, like if you make a decision and step in, you will have success. You will move forward. The coaching is the same. What I love about it is we work as a team, and it's been another great layer of accountability for me on my own journey, another sense of encouragement, and people that I've met here the last year and a half have become really close friends. And so the last thing I want to leave you with, you know, as we went through and looked at old pictures and trying to pick out kind of how to represent what's taken place, I came across a picture from about 3 years ago. And it's one of my favorite ones because it's me walking off the field as a coach, coming off the field. Friday night lights are behind me, and my 5-year-old son is right behind me. And all you can see is the silhouette of Dad and the silhouette of my son. And so my question to you is, what is your game plan? Dads, I want you to, what is your game plan? Husbands, what's your game plan? Because people are watching. The next generation is watching every step and every move that you make. And so I encourage you to plug into a good game plan, a solid game plan, and think about the type of legacy you want to leave the next generation. Thanks again, David.
So great, Pete. I love hearing your story. And you're right. If you don't have a game plan for your life or your health, you're oftentimes going to be subject to the punishment of the competition. And the competition is fierce out there. And what we have with the OPTAVIA is we have the ability to help people to win in all 3 areas of life. And so if right now you're losing the game of health in all 3 of these areas, do not be dismayed. You're not the only one. Many of us have recovered from being very unhealthy physically, mentally, and financially. And this is a great opportunity for you to get back into the game of health and life by just taking your first step. The idea of coaching others, that may be a secondary step for you, or you may be ready for it right now. There's lots of reasons of why people become OPTAVIA coaches. You don't have to leave your full-time job if that's not your desire. You do not have to make, ongoing purchases of any amount, or there's no sales quotas to meet. It's really about, do you want to help another person to get healthy? And if you were to do that, would that serve you in some way? If you have that desire and you have that interest, then this is a good opportunity to explore. One of our other great success stories is Geoff. And Geoff was a player at the 1989 Holiday Bowl for Penn State University. And what a great outside linebacker that has gone to the size of a defensive lineman and then back to the size of a DB now, I think, Geoff. So tell us a little bit more about how OPTAVIA has transformed you.
Thanks, David. And it was great. It's great to be here tonight, and loved hearing Pete. Love his story. So, like a lot of people, my story started right after college. As I got done football, I basically have struggled with my weight my entire life for the last 30 plus years. And it was really 6 months ago, my health coach, Lisa Deagle, I saw pictures of her, she shared her story on Facebook. And that led to me reaching out to her. I was obviously a little apprehensive in the beginning. And I waited a couple weeks. Eventually I saw her husband at a hockey event, and our sons played hockey together for 2 years. And that basically led to a conversation of me reaching out to her and just asking her, hey, can you help me? What are you doing? And, I tell clients now all the time, besides marrying my wife and my kids, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. What's happened in the last 6 months is using the program, I've been able to lose 96 pounds. I still have 39 more pounds to go. So I'm a work in progress. This is more of a journey, as people say, but it's been a huge learning curve for myself. I learned a ton about myself and, how to stay healthy. It's one thing to get healthy and then obviously to stay healthy. So that's been huge. Like Pete mentioned, having a game plan. One of the things that I was drawn to initially with the program was the accountability, which we all deal with as athletes. And that kind of drew me in, and I related to that accountability. And that's I knew 2 months into my process as far as getting healthy. I knew I wanted to coach, but at the same point in time, it was more of an issue of just when was that going to happen. And I think there was some gentle nudging and some growth there that was involved with my support team and you, David. And so the transition from my own health journey then to becoming a coach was really smooth. It made sense to me for me to be accountable. I obviously have to be accountable if I'm coaching, clients as far as their health. I have to be accountable and too. So that was the attractive thing. And I started out really in the beginning doing it more, I'd say, selfishly for myself. But really what's happened in the last, I'm going to say 4 months, is it's really become so much more than that. And what I have found is that as big as your physical transformation is, and mine's been pretty big. I mean, it's hard for me to look at those pictures and realize, holy cow, that was me. But what I've found is that the mental transformation's been 3 times as big. And it's that sharing that and that projection of your, what happens with you mentally. I never really understood how the mental aspect was connected to the physical. So it's been an incredible journey, and I'm really, really excited for the future. And one of the things that stuck, and I have a quote that's kind of stuck with me, and it reads, "If you want something you've never had," and that was truly me, "you have to do something you've never done." And I'm that in a nutshell. I'm no different than anyone else. I sat here 6 months ago and was in really bad shape. So I'm super excited. I love the program. It's the simplicity and so forth. So as far as my journey goes, I look forward to the future.
So good, Geoff. And yeah, what you're saying in natural progression is that, you come in and you don't know the plays, you're just learning them, and you're thinking, how in the world can I coach another person on how to do this when I'm still figuring it out? But that's part of the process, is that if you have to help another person to learn how to do it, you immerse yourself. So as an offensive center, what most people call the most valuable player on the field is we'd have to actually know the other plays for the other players. And so I got to become a better player in football by knowing the plays for other people. And if I hadn't had to do that, I wouldn't have become as good of a player as I could have been, because I didn't know what I didn't know. So what the opportunity is here with OPTAVIA is you become an OPTAVIA client. You can also become an OPTAVIA coach. You can also progress to becoming a business coach where you coach other coaches. And then you can become a business leader. by leading teams of other coaches and business coaches. And what the opportunity here is up to you to decide what's right for you. You may decide that you just want to help a few friends and family members get healthy, or you may decide that you want to get the world healthy. It's up to you to decide how big you'd like to grow in this opportunity. And to give us another testimony, I'd like to introduce you to Coach Storms. Coach Storms has been into some of the biggest schools in the NCAA, coaching lots of major athletes, and we'll introduce you to one later tonight. But he's also been around the NFL coaching peak performance athletes to reach that next level. But I want him to tell you a little bit more about his story and how he was able to improve his health and his life with OPTAVIA. Coach Storms, welcome to the webinar.
Hey, David, thank you very much. Yes, when I discovered OPTAVIA, when my coaches introduced it to me last October, I was, I loved my life, but I was in a funk. I wasn't living my best life. I wasn't doing great. And I was able to get back. If you look at the pictures, when I was really big, is because I was assistant defensive line coach with the Saints, and I was eating all my meals with the defensive line, but I wasn't a defensive lineman in the NFL. I was a coach. So I ballooned up to the biggest I'd ever been. And then I was challenged to get back in the best shape of my life last fall. And with OPTAVIA, and with my coach, with the support, and with the community, and with the program, I was able to do it very quickly. And my wife said to me, well, you got your spark back in your eyes. And I want to really focus on that, David, because I say to the people that I have the privilege of coaching that you're going to have better sleep. You're going to have more energy for your spouse and your hobbies and your family. You're going to feel better. You're going to have more focus for your career, for your dreams, for your job. Oh, by the way, there's a side effect that you're going to lose some weight too, because I want everybody to understand, and the coaches on the panel and the coaches and clients watching know this. It's more about what we gain doing OPTAVIA than what we lose by dropping the weight. So it was kind of, because I'm a coach, it was a natural thing when I was invited by my coach. Hey, you think about helping some people. And then as everybody listening to the call knows, when you start changing physiologically, people go, wow, what are you doing? You look great. And I looked at it as a responsibility to me to share with people and pay it forward. I said, I feel better than I felt in 30 years. I'm in the same shape I was in 1983 when I was in the Marine Corps. And it's just restored so much of our life and our hope and our dreams, professionally and personally. And I have 8 things I want to tell people about that I think have happened to us because of OPTAVIA and because of the opportunity we decided to become coaches, because my wife is my co-coach. Number 1 is I'm saving and transforming more lives than I ever did before. I have the opportunity to impact people with 0 geographical boundaries. We've had a brick and mortar business for many, many years that I love and I'm very passionate about, but we were only able to impact people within really a 20 or 30 minute drive time radius. We're now, because of friends and referrals and family members, and we have clients in 27 different states, which means that we have the opportunity to pour our heart for people with no limits and no restrictions other than our ability to follow the map, because it's all given to you how to succeed. If you can paint by numbers, you can be a successful OPTAVIA coach. So number 1, it's changing, transforming lives. We're going to be able to replace the income from our brick and mortar business, which became our goal. Because as you know, markets are finicky, towns are finicky, businesses, things change. I've been in business for 32 years. And I didn't want to become a victim of circumstance. I wanted another additional stream of income that spoke to my purpose, which is serving other human beings and transforming lives. And that's what we were able to find with OPTAVIA. The next thing was I didn't want any limits on myself placed on me by others. And what you're going to find with the OPTAVIA coach community and the OPTAVIA community is everybody wants everybody to win. There are no misaligned incentives. So there's this massive team of everybody pulling everybody up the ladder to grow and succeed. Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. To win this game of life that we're in, that lots of people think it's a competition. I think it's a competition to love and serve as much as we can. And I want everybody to be successful that's within arm's reach of me or within the sound of my voice. So that was a big thing. I just wanted to be responsible and own my family's future and wanted to do more things from my wife. I was telling the panelists before we got here, I'm speaking to everybody from Vail, Colorado right now. I live in New Orleans, but one of the things is we wanted freedom. And so I'm sitting at a condo in the Ritz-Carlton with my wife and daughter in Vail, enjoying hiking and biking and beautiful weather. So I wanted to have the freedom to choose. A really big thing happened in my life about 6 months ago. My mother, who's one of the most important people in my life, fell and broke her pelvis. It really advanced her dementia dramatically. I write a bunch of checks to support my mom before her long-term care insurance policy kicked in, to help get repairs done on her house, to list her house, and to be available to her nearly daily. And because of the OPTAVIA coaching business, my brick and mortar business was taken care of by my fantastic team. And for the last 6 months, I've been able to spend irreplaceable time with my mother, take care of her needs, and I didn't sweat it. It didn't stress me out because it wasn't going into my regular income. It was coming from my other stream of income. So the best part of it is it's fun, right? Everybody's awesome. The trainings are amazing. The tools are getting better every month, it seems like, with the company. So don't be like, I can't be a coach. I'm not like Mike or Geoff or Dave, or you're going to hear from Jared, one of my best friends, in a few minutes. You don't have to be. Just be you and put your passion for people and health, mind, body, and finances, and share it with people. That's all you got to do. And I would say if you're a coach, fantastic. Raise your game, challenge yourself, dream bigger, act bigger, link arms with your team, reach out to your mentor, and they'll give you all the juice and all the things you need. Never miss a training. If you're a client, what's holding you back? There are people in your community, in your family, that need this program, and you have the answer. So it's been a thrill to talk to everybody. Thanks so much. And you're going to love hearing from my buddy JT. Thanks, David.
You bet. Thanks, Coach Storms. And man, this is powerful. And this last testimonial is just going to wrap it all up. You know, I don't know if some of you remember Jerry Tomich. He was an All-American at the University of Nebraska, and it was one of the favorite guys of mine to watch when we weren't playing at South Dakota. We got a chance to watch Jared and all the madness that he was doing in his national championship years. And with a professional career to boot, I never thought that Jared would ever have a weight problem in his life. The dude was a stud and rock solid. But I'm going to have him tell a little bit more about how he transformed his health and how he decided to become an OPTAVIA coach. Jared, welcome to the webinar.
Hi, David. Thank you very much for having me. I am thrilled to be here and super excited to share my story. And thank you to Michael too. You know, he's been my coach for 25 years now. So we go way back from when I first got into the NFL, and he helped me then, and he's helping me again now. You know, my story. You know, I played. You know, I've been in collegiate ball and in 7 years in the NFL, and went through the entrepreneurship thing for a little while and had some businesses and got rid of all those 4 or 5 years ago. I became a stay-at-home dad for 2 little boys, and it's fantastic. It's wonderful. I love it. But being around the house and being around the refrigerator all day pays its price. And I put on lots of weight and still wasn't training like I was when I was in the NFL. So it was a big deal, and I kept packing it on and just getting more and more sore through the years too. And I just thought, I kind of accepted that. You know, I thought that part of my career was going to be, costed me some of my pain and things like that through the years. About 6 months ago now, Michael made the challenge to me to try the program, and my wife and I both, and so we did, and it's been fantastic. It has been a complete reset of life for the both of us. I myself, I first got in, and he turned me onto it. You know, the weight loss thing I thought was great, but it was really the inflammation that he was talking really straight to me. And I tell you, after I got on the program, I was on for about 2 weeks, and I went from walking down the stairs sideways first thing in the morning to almost dancing down the stairs every day after that. And it's just been fantastic. And it's just grown every month. It's gotten better and better. Our health has gotten better and better. And I've become, it helps me to be a better dad. It helps me to be a better husband. And it's fantastic. We are, truly grateful for the program. And, once we got our bodies, and lost the weight, the two of us have collectively lost over 100 pounds, and most of that being, the great majority of that being mine. But we're, and then the mindset came after that. The confidence came back, and just being able to run around more with my boys. I felt like I was, being a stay-at-home dad by 6, 7 o'clock, I was worn out. These two little guys would just wearing me down. And so, after being on the program for about a month, I noticed, hey, it's 7 o'clock and I'm still trucking with it. It's 8 o'clock. I'm still, all right, now it's time for bed. Now it's time for you guys to go to bed. So then that everybody can wind down. But it's been just fantastic for us. We're thrilled. And soon after I got on the program, within the first week or two, Michael, made me the challenge of doing the coaching and kind of getting involved in doing that. And so I started that right away. And just with the idea that, I love helping people. I love, talking with people and really just kind of reaching out and because I believe in it so wholeheartedly with this program, it's very easy for me to talk to people. And it's just going out and living out loud and just getting that now for myself, getting coaches that I'm coaching has been just a lot of fun, and it's really fulfilling, and it's just for myself and for my wife and for our whole family, it has just been a complete reset, and it's ignited a new spark and a new purpose for me. I know it's just being able to be a stay-at-home dad and now contribute financially. What a huge deal. I was for years, I was staying at home, but I wasn't contributing financially. My wife is the breadwinner. And for me to now be able to contribute by just, having, working with clients in the nooks and crannies of my day, it is just truly, just awesome. And I'm loving every day of it. And I'm still early at it, and I can't wait for the future.
Great stuff, Jared. So thanks so much for sharing your story with us. And that kind of gives you a full range from, 10 years in the business to a couple of years to just being in the business for 6 months and having an experience on the program. No matter where you are, the timing couldn't be better. The opportunity to be trained and actually learn as you earn. You don't have to go pro in becoming a coach to actually be successful as a coach. You can actually start helping people immediately. So it's a great opportunity for all of us to, reflect on, hey, what do we really want? And begin to reach out to the person that invited you to watch this video and let them know what you want and what you'd like to explore further, and explore the opportunity of partnering with us, because we need more coaches. We need more people back in the game of health, and we need more coaches to be able to bring more people to become healthier physically, mentally, and financially, and might just be you. So reach out to the person that shared this video with you and let them know that you'd like to explore this further and get your questions answered, and they'll give you more details. So on behalf of all the panelists tonight, thanks so much for joining us, and wish you guys all a very healthy and wonderful night. Thanks, everybody.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.